Ronaldo's 23-month prison sentence.
Soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo surrounded as he arrived in court to plead guilty.
A footballer with 75 years in jail, and the one who met Osama bin Laden, not once, but multiple times.
They described their encounters with Osama bin Laden in 1997.
But what about the footballer who was caught running a multi-million-dollar mafia empire? Today, we're not just talking about crimes. We're exposing the most shocking, secret criminal lives of footballers you've never heard about, the most beloved smile in football history, behind prison bars. What? Ronaldinho wasn't just a player, he was pure magic. This man made defenders look like they were standing still. He'd nutmeg you, smile at you, then nutmeg you again just for fun. World Cup? Won it. Champions League? Conquered it. Ballon d'Or? Claimed it. He had everything, fame, fortune, fans worshiping him like a god. But here's where it gets insane. March 2020. The world is already going crazy with COVID, and then this bombshell dropped. Ronaldinho is in jail, not house arrest, not a luxury detention center, actual prison. The charge? Hold on to your seats. Fake passports. I know what you're thinking. Why would a millionaire superstar need fake document? That's exactly what the entire world was asking. This man could buy a private jet with his pocket change, and he's using fake passports? But wait, it gets weirder. The passports had his real name on, just the country was different. It's like robbing a bank and leaving your business card. The Paraguayan authorities weren't laughing, though. They threw him in maximum security prison. Now picture this. The man who danced with the ball at the Bernabeu is now sharing a cell block with murderers and drug lords. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. Ronaldinho turned that prison into his personal stadium. Videos started leaking. There he was, playing futsal with inmates. That famous smile still on his face. The prisoners were going crazy. They had a world champion in their jail. Then came the most bizarre moment of all, a prison football tournament. The prize? A roasted pig. And guess who won it? Of course he did. Even behind bars, Ronaldinho was still the king. 32 days. That's how long football royalty spent in a Paraguayan jail. When he finally got moved to house arrest in a luxury hotel, the world breathed a sigh of relief. But the damage was done. One of football's greatest legends had a mugshot. But this next story will make your blood run cold. Imagine going from scoring goals to planning mass murder. That's exactly what happened with Nizar Trabelsi. This wasn't just any footballer. This was a professional who played in Germany, who had fans who signed autographs. But behind that athletic exterior was a monster waiting to emerge. 2003.
A former professional soccer player from Tunisia accused of conspiring with Osama bin Laden on a terror attack found.
Belgian authorities uncover a plot so terrifying it sounds like fiction. Trabelsi wasn't just involved in terrorism. He was planning to blow up a military base. This is the same man who used to celebrate goals with teammates. But here's where it gets darker. The FBI drops a bombshell. Trabelsi didn't just know about Al-Qaeda. He had meetings with Osama bin Laden multiple times in Afghanistan.
Prosecutors accused Nizar Trabelsi of working with the Al-Qaeda leader to carry out a suicide bomb attack on Americans in Europe 2 decades ago.
This footballer was volunteering to be a suicide bomber. 10 years in Belgian prison. You'd think that's where the story ends, right? Wrong! 2013. He's extradited to the United States. Another decade in solitary confinement, 20 years total behind bars. But then comes the twist nobody expected. July 2023, a federal jury finds him not guilty of the U.S. charges. After 20 years, he's cleared, but he's still not free. He's trapped in legal limbo while governments fight over what to do with him. Omar El Gato Ortiz was living the dream. The Mexican goalkeeper earned his nickname for his cat-like reflexes and acrobatic saves. He played for Mexico's biggest clubs, earned a national team cap, and had stadiums chanting his name. Kids wore his jersey. Cameras followed his every move. But in 2010, the dream shattered. Ortiz tested positive for steroids and received a 2-year ban from football. No games, no income, no adoration, just silence where cheers used to be. The ban exposed what fame had hidden, a severe cocaine addiction that now spiraled out of control. Ortiz went from hero to zero, desperately trying to maintain a lifestyle he could no longer afford. That's when the cartel made their move. They didn't want him as muscle or a dealer. They wanted something far more valuable, his connections. Ortiz became their scout. He'd show up at exclusive parties, charity galas, and private clubs, places where his famous face still opened doors. He'd chat, laugh, take photos with fans. But he was hunting, identifying wealthy businessmen, socialites, anyone worth a hefty ransom. Once he picked a target, the cartel would strike. The kidnappings were brutal and efficient. Victims included prominent figures like the husband of pop star Gloria Trevi. Ransoms reached hundreds of thousands of dollars. For years, Ortiz played this double life. By day, signing autographs and posing for selfies. By night, marking victims for terror. But in 2012, Mexican authorities arrested 2 cartel members who cracked under interrogation. They named names, including the fallen goalkeeper. The nation couldn't believe it. Their former hero was a kidnapper. In January 2019, Ortiz stood trial in Monterrey. No fans in the gallery, no teammates by his side. He was convicted of at least 3 kidnappings, though authorities suspected many more. The sentence, 75 years in prison. From saving goals to destroying lives, from national hero to national disgrace, El Gato had used up all 9 lives, and there would be no comeback. Warning, this next story is so disturbing, it'll haunt you forever. Bruno Fernandes de Souza had it all. Brazil's star goalkeeper, Flamengo's hero, a move to AC Milan on the horizon, millions of fans screaming his name. He was untouchable. But behind those gloves that saved countless goals was a man capable of unspeakable evil, Elisa Samudio. Remember that name. She was a model, the mother of his child, and she made one mistake. She asked for child support. That simple request signed her death warrant. June 2010. Elisa disappears. At first, people thought maybe she ran away. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. But then the truth emerged, and it was worse than anyone's darkest nightmare. Bruno didn't just kill her. Oh no, that would be too simple for this monster. According to prosecutors, he had her tortured, strangled. But the most horrifying part? Her body was dismembered and fed to his Rottweiler. The police couldn't even find her remains. She was literally erased from existence. The trial was a media explosion. Brazil couldn't believe their hero was capable of that. 22 years in prison. That was his sentence. His career? Destroyed. His legacy? Forever stained with blood. But here's the sickest twist of all. After just 7 years, he was released. The public went ballistic. A small team actually tried to sign him. The backlash was so fierce that sponsors pulled out, and the deal collapsed within days. Even murderers couldn't escape the court of public opinion. He was sent back to prison, but the fact he was even released shows how twisted this story really is. Now, not every story ends in tragedy, but this one shows even legends can be idiot. 2005. Young Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United's rising star, future GOAT of football. He's got the skills, the looks, the swagger, but apparently he also had a lead foot. Caught 60 miles per hour in a 40 zone in his Porsche Cayenne. Now, we've all been there, right? But what Ronaldo did next was pure arrogance. Court date arrives. Where's Cristiano? Not there. No lawyer, no representative, nothing. The judge was furious. She literally said the system has been manipulated. This wasn't just disrespect. This was Ronaldo basically saying, I'm too important for your little court. The audacity. The verdict? Guilty. But here's where being rich pays off. £1,000 fine and 6 points on his license. For a man making millions, that's like you or me paying for a coffee. But the real story here? Even at 20 years old, Ronaldo thought he was untouchable. The same attitude that made him great also made him think laws didn't apply to him. Next is this story. Proves you can't outrun your past no matter how fast you are on the pitch. Gavin Grant, talented striker playing for Millwall and Wycombe. But he came from Stonebridge Park Estate in London, a place where the law of the jungle ruled, where revenge wasn't optional. It was mandatory. 2004. Grant's best friend Romain gets robbed. The word on the street? Leon Labastide did it. In the real world, you call the police. In Stonebridge, you handle it yourself. What happened next was pure brutality. Grant and 2 accomplices found Leon outside his mother's house. They didn't just shoot him. They shot him 6 times. This wasn't murder. This was an execution. But here's the crazy part. Grant thought he got away with it. He kept playing football, scoring goals, living his life like he didn't have blood on his hands. Years passed. Grant probably thought he was safe. But karma has a long memory. 2010. New witnesses emerge. The case is reopened. Suddenly, the striker who thought he escaped justice is in handcuffs. The verdict? Guilty. 25 years minimum. From football pitch to prison cell. His story is proof that you can run from your past, but you can't hide forever. These stories aren't just about football. They're about how quickly heroes become villains, how fame can hide monsters, and how even innocence can't save you from a world that's already made up its mind. The beautiful game? Sometimes it's anything but beautiful.